Hi everyone. How are y'all doing tonight? Good? Dinner was good? Oh yeah, y'all give me some grace. This is my first time public speaking, so kind of nervous. Okay, so before I get into the nitty-gritty, I just want to say thank you so much, Texas Values, for allowing me this opportunity to be able to come and speak in front of so many amazing people. And I have been through some crazy things in my time doing college volleyball, but it's led me to events like this to meet so many amazing people. And I truly feel like I prayed so much about why I had to go through something like this. But at the end of the day, God's blessed me in a way that I could never even imagine. And He put me there for a reason, and it was a hard battle fought, but y'all are about to find out all the nitty-gritty details. So, I've been thinking and praying about this night for a really long time, and I really don't take it lightly to have the opportunity to be able to speak here. However, while I am really honored to be here, there's a part of me that wishes that I was never here at all. It's sad that, yes, some of you do know my name, but I wish it was under different circumstances. But here I am, here you are, and here we are. The we is not only you and I, but it's also us as a country and as a society, as a culture, and the place we find ourselves. Well, that's the unfortunate part, honestly. To put it simply, I'm here because we have gotten to the point where we refuse to call a man and a woman a woman. We have traded people for pronouns, we have traded science for relevance, and we have traded truth for transgenderism. And all women, especially our young girls today, are paying the price. I know because I am one of those girls, and I am here today speaking out after being told to be silent so many times, because I don't want one more little girl to end up having the experience that I had to experience. So this is my call to sanity, to reason, to truth, and I hope you'll join me. So how exactly I got to this position, some of you might be wondering. Kind of like what Mary Elizabeth said, I started playing volleyball at a very young age when I was about 7, 8 years old. And started getting recruited, and I ended up committing to the University of Alabama when I was about 14, 15 years old. Roll Tide. And had a great 2 years there, started as a freshman, did some good things at that time, but just ended up losing the game, love for the game at the end of the day there. So decided to enter the transfer portal, scary thing if anyone else here has played collegiate sports. And I just wanted something completely different, something that I could just, get out of the Power 5, relax, find the love for it again. You only get to play the sport you love for so long. And I ended up, honestly, San Jose was the first school to email me, and I was like, California? No thank you. And didn't really get the offers that I was really looking for, so I was like, you know what, why not reach out? Why not see where this could go? You never know what God has in store for you. So, ended up calling them back, and I was like, hey, I'm planning on committing in about 2 days, and I have some other offers, so if y'all want me to come there, y'all can pay for me to come on a full visit, and we'll see what happens, but I need to know by about now. So they ended up flying me out there and took a visit, and I loved it. The coaches were people that seemed like they cared about just me as a person. And ended up moving out there. My coaches had told me, hey, we think there's these 3 girls on the volleyball team that they're looking for a roommate, and we think you would fit in very well with them. And I was like, this is amazing. I don't have to live alone. I get to transfer. I get to bond with some of the other girls that are my age on this volleyball team. And I don't have to be alone out here trying to navigate this all by myself. So some time goes on. I'm having an amazing time. I'm truly finding the love for the game again, which I've lost since about playing college or club volleyball when I was 18. And I go to hibachi one night with 2 of our men's basketball players and one of my roommates. And me and Brookie, my 2 Brooks in the room, by the way, just to keep things simple. We were just talking, and the 2 men's basketball players I overhear start calling one of my teammates a dude and a guy. And I turned around and I was like, what are you talking about? And they start to say, like, Brooke, you don't know? You don't know that Blair is a man. And I was like, what? And they just start to explain a few things to me. Now, at this time, it was all rumor. There was nothing confirmed. Obviously, coaches, school had told us nothing. So I kind of just, you know what? It was mind-boggling, but no one talked about it. It was a very sweep it under the rug. You do not talk about this. It was known you don't talk about this. And honestly, I put it in the back of my mind. I had no idea what to do. I was so confused. I just, obviously, like many people, had never been put in this position before. So I was like, you know what? At this point, Blair was injured for the season. I can put this in the back of my head, and I can figure it out when I need to figure it out. I don't know what to do. And at this point, I had been specifically chosen to room with Blair on away trips. The coaches had asked Blair personally who they felt he would be comfortable with rooming with on away trips and hotel rooms. And for some reason, that was me. We shared a locker room together. We shared living space together. We were in the same apartment for about a year and a half. And I think when I really realized that this was all happening, it was the first time I felt like I had the choice to save myself from this situation of being vulnerable in front of a man, because I was lied to, I was deceived, and I was not told that there was a man on this team, and was told that I would fit in well with living with a man. And luckily, hopefully, most of you never had to go through something like that, but just the feeling that I had the choice of safety taken away from me was something that I could never take back. And honestly, it's sickening, even to think that one day I could have a daughter, and for her to have to go through something like this, I can't imagine how my mom or dad felt at that time. So time goes on, Blair was out majority of the season, and it was about 2 weeks before the season's over, and this article comes out. And I coached a little girls volleyball team, so I went from college practice to lifting to coaching and straight home. So some days were quite hectic. And I get home and all the doors are shut in my apartment, which was very odd. Very open door policy. We were very close. And I was like, that's interesting. I don't really know what's going on here. And so my two roommates come out, Blair and my other roommate, and just start begging me to take them to Chick-fil-A for some milkshakes, because they didn't have cars. And I was like, I'm tired, I don't want to do this. I ended up taking them to go get their sweet treat. You know, every girl needs their little sweet treat before bed. And we get there, and it's just silent. Again, so weird. And Blair looks at my roommate and is like, I don't know how to tell her. And Allie was like, just show her the article. And this was the first article by Red X that had come out about San Jose State having a male on the women's volleyball team. And so I read it, and this is me just having the rumors and kind of processing it at the moment. And really all I said was, I think you know how I feel about this. I don't agree with this. And we kept it real short, and that was about it. And I was like, I don't agree with this in women's sports. And Blair specifically looked at me and told me, well, if anyone on this team is uncomfortable with me being here, I will leave. And I sat there and looked Blair in the eyes, and I was like, I don't feel comfortable with this. Didn't say anything, stayed silent. I drove them home, and the next day we had a team meeting. And the group chat for our team, not including Blair, we were like, okay, this is our chance. Like, this is our time to get answers. The school's gonna talk to us about what the heck is going on. How are we gonna handle this? Is Blair getting kicked off the team? Like, we can finally talk to adults about this situation. It's not being swept under the rug anymore. And we get there, and some of us are ready with questions. Honestly, I showed up, I had no idea what to say. And we're like, okay, this is our time. Answers, this is gonna be amazing. So much relief is gonna be taken off of our chests. And we go in and sit down, and it was just compliance, some media people and our coaches. They don't even use the word trans. They don't use the word man. All they say is, an article has come out, and we are dealing with it. Please don't comment on it. honestly, you don't even need to talk to your family or friends about it. It's okay. It's not hitting major news. There's no need to talk about this. And obviously, all of us were like, I don't really know what to say. We didn't have questions after that because we were so caught off guard. We were like, wait, these people aren't here to support us. Like, y'all are choosing to support this one person. So we go about our day, and they cancel practice, and the next day we show up, and it's like nothing had happened. Everyone's happy, our coaches are happy. They just don't want to talk about it. It never happened. This isn't a thing. It's all women here. No one should have issues. And so we go home for summer, and me and my one other teammate were chosen to go to an all-stars team for the Mountain West Conference in Europe. And so we got to meet with a lot of other girls in the conference, get to hang out with them. It was a lot of fun. And they're obviously, elephant in the room, they're like, can we ask about it? Like, can we know? And so we were like, of course, we'll answer anything you want to know. And they start to tell us about these rumors of people forfeiting and people not playing against our team if there's a man on the team, rightfully so. And so I go home to my coach with my other captain, and we were like, hey, we've been hearing these rumors. What's going on? And he was like, you know what, I'll deal with it. If a lot of teams are gonna forfeit, I'll deal with it. I'll figure out what's going on. And I remember I looked at him and I was like, okay, coach, but when does it come the time that we play this game as women and we get rid of the one person that's causing all these issues and just play our game? There wouldn't be any forfeits if this person would leave the room. And he just went ballistic on me. And after that, I was like, okay, I see my place. I'm not supposed to talk about it still. That's okay. Like, I don't know what else I can do. And we started having meetings after meetings, less practice time, just talking about articles that were coming out, how you should make sure no one's talking about it, because if you talk about it, your scholarship's gonna get pulled. And you're gonna have to pay for school after this, and you're gonna have to move home because you're a hateful person and you're gonna ruin this team because you are not supporting this one person. And at this point, our entire team had said to Blair's face, we don't think this is okay. So time goes on, and it just kept getting worse, worse, and worse, and we're still having to share our safe spaces with this person. We're still having to travel and room with this person, and take turns, all of us hoping it's not our turn to room with Blair. And nothing changed. They just kept grinding and grinding on us that if we said anything, that bad things were gonna happen to us. And especially once I joined my lawsuits, everything broke loose. They were having compliance meetings, they were sitting me down, having me talk about why I would hate on someone so much, why would I be such a hateful person, so many different things. And that's when I finally decided to join the lawsuits in the long run. And again, because like I said, if I sat down 10, 15 years ago from today and saw one of my children having to go through this, share a locker room, share showers, which I'm sure most of you have seen public showers in locker rooms. They're just open. There's not stalls. So we're just out here, very vulnerable states, having to share this space with this man. And if we have anything to say about it, we're getting ripped into, not this person. So, after all of this has happened, that's why everything that I'd gone through, I just felt such a conviction at the end of the day that I needed to do something. And that this was wrong. As much as all of these adults were telling me, don't talk, don't do this, your scholarship's gonna get pulled. And I was not even into my faith at this point. I felt such a strong conviction that this just wasn't right. And I just went to church one day. I hadn't been to church by myself in about 2 years. And before that, couldn't have cared less what they were saying in service, I'm gonna be honest. And I go to this church and I just break down, sobbing. And after that day, I gave my life to Christ. And I was like, you know what? Thank you. And I was like, you know what? That's when I knew God put me here for a reason. He knew that I could handle this and that I would be the person to stand up and be able to say something, because everyone was like, well, why didn't you just quit? Why not just walk away? You know, all these other teams are forfeiting. Why not just walk away? You have the easy way out. And I was like, I have 15 other young women on this team that are having to go through this every day, that don't know what to say, that are too scared to say something. And I just, again, felt such a conviction in my heart that I was put there to be able to protect them and be able to speak out for them. And as much as they never would say it in the public, they always would reach out over text or over call and be like, Brooke, I don't think you understand how much you helped me. And I might be the one in public seeing that, yes, I stayed home from school this last semester. I'm doing school online at my parents' home in Denton, Texas, because I needed to recover. And all these women went through it too. It didn't just affect me because I spoke out. It affected every single person on my team. And to this day, so many people have told me that they will never be the same after what they've had to go through. And it's because of that we need more and more people to stand up and speak for what's right, especially young women that are going through it. Because those are the people that are going to be able to connect and be able to show you that this truly can affect you in the long run. So, at the end of the day, I just want to say that just like in Genesis, male and female, he created them. And that's how it's meant to be. That's why there's only men and women's sports. There's no need to change it otherwise. And not until people who say that they support women are held accountable for what they've done, not only true women, but to the young girls that are too often told to quiet down. The girls that are forced to subject themselves to men in their locker rooms and in their sports in order to accept a lie in the name of some delusional sense of equality. No, I won't stand down, and I will keep speaking just like everyone else should be on this topic. Just like Mace Middleton and his bills that he's trying to pass to protect our safe spaces. So thank you so much for being here today and listening to my story. Woo.